So let's hop right into it. Let's kick things off with the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland, Wednesday, December 28th, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. UCF takes on Duke. Duke, 3.5 point favorite here, over under 62. I believe UCF originally opened as a 3-point favorite, and this line has swung the other way because I don't think there's been any Duke opt-outs or transfers, and UCF has had a few. Their cornerback, Devontae Brown, one of their best linebackers, Jean Baptiste, and their wide receiver, Ryan O'Keefe, who's also important in the run game. And then Mikey Keene, who I think just announced he's going to Fresno State.
Yep.
He's gone. So the biggest question here, so obviously UCF, it's all right, they're going to be missing a couple key players on both sides of the ball. And look, they've been in bowls lately. I think this is still important for Duke. First-time head coach, really good year for the program, although they didn't beat a team that made a bowl until the final week against Wake Forest. So the schedule wasn't great. But I think that from a motivational edge, from a opt-out edge, everything favors Duke there. I still would like UCF if I knew John Reese Plumlee was 100% healthy, which we do not know. And, he not only does he need to be, he might play, but I need to know that he can run, and he can run at full strength, full speed. And there's always the risk that with a hamstring that he could tweak it at any point in time. So, this line is creeped out a bit. There is a lot of uncertainty with Plumlee, because if Plumlee can't go, now there's no more Keene, and you're down to your third string quarterback in, I think, Castellanos, who didn't fare too well on very limited action this year. So what do you see here in the Military Bowl?
Yeah, things are going really well for Duke, and you can see it in the market, this thing, which, I mean, if this was played during the regular season, you'd make UCF a favorite by a little bit more than a field goal. But now you're seeing this heavy steam on Duke, and maybe for good reason. I mean, Mike Elko, a pretty successful first year, 8-4 straight up and against the spread. He had some big winners in the transfer portal already. He's got 4 kids that were 3 stars, didn't lose any significant players here. So there's a lot of steam behind this Blue Devils football program. And with Duke, you have to worry about the ground attack. Top 20 in line yards and stuff rate, led by Jordan Waters, averages 3.3 yards after contact. And Jaquez Moore is the change of pace, elusive back that's 4.3 yards after contact. And then saying all that, there's Riley Leonard, who has 700 rushing yards a season, half of them coming off scrambles. They extend drives like crazy. And, UCF defense severely struggles in creating a pass rush. Now they lose their linebacker, Jeremiah Jean Baptiste. Defensive back Devontae Brown is in the portal. The new DC is Addison Williams. The defensive coordinator for UCF took off. He's now the new Arkansas defensive coordinator. That's Travis Williams there. And you mentioned Mikey Keene being gone. It's all on John Reese Plumlee. There was backup Thomas Castellanos, got some action versus Tulane in the AAC championship game. But Plumlee's going to have 3 weeks to fully recover. And anybody with a hamstring, it's generally 3 to 4 weeks. But we don't know if he's going to take off. That's the big unknown. If you see that, I mean, I am suggesting, yes, take a Duke bet here. It is overinflated. It is oversold in the market. You see John Reese Plumlee take off out of the tackle box in one of the first, in the first drive, you may want to start looking at your live options here. UCF just doesn't have the ability to stop the explosive play on the ground defensively. Duke does. That's the big thing in the advanced numbers here. Duke has a defense that can stop ground explosiveness. You have to have that if Plumlee is healthy. So that is the key to this game, and I think Duke wins outright.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And we don't even know if Plumlee maybe just says, look, this game doesn't mean much. Just sit out. That could happen as well. I mean, he did say he's coming back next season, but it's, the Military Bowl against Duke. And look, Mike Elko is one of the best defensive minds in all of college football. He's got a month to prepare for this UCF team that won't have an important piece, and their defense missing a couple pieces. So yeah, I agree. Line is inflated, but I would lean Duke here. And if Plumlee can't go or is hampered, then I think Duke ends up blowing UCF out.